may I kindly request everyone to take their seats and ensure their phones are on silent mode. Let's create an atmosphere of respect and engagement for what promises to be a truly memorable event. We would like to start by expressing our gratitude to our generous sponsors, without whom this event would not have been possible. Let's give a round of applause for our platinum, gold, silver and bronze sponsors and our event partners. Their support has been invaluable. We are extremely thankful for the partnership. We have a distinguished guest with us this evening, someone whose leadership and vision have greatly influenced the economic landscape of our country. But before we dive into the event, may I kindly request everyone again to please take their seats and ensure your phone is on silent mode. Let's maintain the decorum of this gathering. Our Honorable Finance Minister will be here shortly. Please do welcome her in the true enthusiastic Chennai Flo style. Thank you.
On time, every time. That's our biggest strength. Every day, every minute, we work towards bringing you the best. DRA is Chennai's first developer to display construction timeline meter at all project sites. You get up-to-the-hour status on the progress of your project. Customer Delight, yet another noble initiative from DRA, the Customer Delight Meter, with an average delight score of 95%. This is primarily thanks to DRA's honoring its commitment in terms of on-time deliver, quality, service and various engagement events for all our existing customers. DRA TrueLive. At DRA, we take pride in introducing pioneering concepts in Chennai. TrueLive is one such innovation, a co-living idea that has revolutionized the Chennai real estate scene, bringing future trends in homes before anyone else and experiences. DRA is always committed to the social and environmental development of the community. We have undertaken many empowering initiatives that have a positive impact on the society. Our Miyawaki and Nutrition Garden programs in government schools was an effort to promote a sense of responsibility towards nature and the community for future generation. DRA Homes is committed to have all our upcoming projects IGBC certified. Our vision for the future is to build extraordinary, innovative projects and to achieve 1,000 crores by consolidating our position in Chennai. Transforming, inspiring and changing people's lives. DRA. Experience nice.
Ferrous Industries Private Limited. PFI Nirmala TMT, or PFI, has been the indomitable, invisible heart and architecture of growing India to metro rails, refineries, thermal and nuclear power plants, national highway projects and ports, water infrastructure, and government housing. Manufacturing process is carefully placed and executed so that it adds to the quality and strength of our end products, taking India from strength to strength into the next era. Prakash Ferrous Industries, powering progress, forging the future.
This is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. What?
Diamonds is the Diamonds for Champions, and I want to encourage the people to support, come and get high quality diamonds. So, I'm here in the store now. I get to experience it for myself, and I want to wish you guys all the best. Obviously, they are here in India and looking to expand internationally in the near future. So, sure, definitely I will be a part of the brand and looking forward to a bigger partnership.
Life is indeed a beautiful book, where financial stability serves as colorful ink that fills every chapter with prosperity. And as you embark on this journey, having a partner every step of the way makes it even more exciting. That is what we aim to be for every individual looking to invest their money, their trusted financial partner for life.
empowerment we've all been eagerly awaiting. Our Honorable Finance Minister, a beacon of strength and influence, and undoubtedly the most powerful and influential woman in India. Ladies and gentlemen, let us express our excitement, appreciation and the warm spirit of Chennai and welcome her with a hearty round of applause as she makes her way down the hall. Privilege to introduce our incredibly talented chairperson, Divya Abhishek, the current and youngest chairperson of FICCI Flo Chennai. Presiding over multiple chambers, Divya is the youngest elected chairperson of SIRC Institute of Cost Accountants of India in the 65-year history of the institute. She is the president of the Women Empowerment Forum of India. She is the youngest woman independent director to be appointed on the board of listed companies in India. Divya is an all-round rank holder and has distinct academic record of being a chartered accountant, a cost accountant, a company secretary and a lawyer. She also holds an advanced diploma in international taxation and diploma in international financial reporting standards. Divya is a prolific speaker, a TEDx speaker. She has nominated to the Grievance Redressal Committee constituted by the GST for Tamil Nadu and Puducherry and nominated by the Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission for formulation of syllabus. She is nominated in the Joint Steering Committee at the Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics and at the National Academy of Direct Taxes. She was awarded the Best Woman Accounting Professional in Asia by the South Asian Federation of Accountants from SAARC in 2024, and hence we rightly call her our Superwoman Chairperson. I would now like to invite Divya to deliver the welcome address. Divya, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Esteemed Chief Guest, the Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, past Presidents, past Chairpersons, distinguished guests, leaders from the industry, committee and my dear members. A very good evening to one and all present here. It's a huge honor to propose the welcome address at this historical and momentous event because we are privileged to be in the very presence of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs at Flo Chennai. We have here with us today a legend, a person who truly embodies women empowerment and has taken it to the highest level possible. The first woman finance minister, the first woman defense minister of India, and also the first finance minister in the history of India to present 7 consecutive union budgets. Ma'am is clearly a person of many firsts. And I'm also given to understand that this is also ma'am's first event in Chennai after once again taking charge as the finance minister. So if we can be selfish, we will add Chennai FICCI Flo also today among the list of firsts. Ma'am, Flo Chennai is recognized as one of the pioneering arms of FICCI across India. We have been a pivotal force in nurturing entrepreneurial spirit, advocating for women's rights and empowering women in leadership roles. I am very humbled and proud to say that Flo Chennai has touched the lives of over 350,000 women in the last 31 years and has been the wind beneath her wings. We have had many milestones in the last month, but I wanted to take the opportunity to highlight a few. We have collaborated with SIPCOT Tamil Nadu for establishing education-based creche in 5 industrial areas. We are providing education for the first time in the daycare facility for the children of working women of all backgrounds, promising an impact of over 40,000 women in each industrial area and the pilot project outlay of 1.2 crores. As someone who is passionate about revival and preservation of handlooms, ma'am, at Flo we have adopted Toda weavers from Nilgiris to promote them and have launched several initiatives for their revival. 50 members of Flo Chennai are being onboarded as mentors for rural women entrepreneurs in the Tamil Nadu RISE initiative, which will impact over 126 women-led startups and 80 self-help groups. We regularly organize programs with leaders in the industry where we try and learn and emulate the best practices for our members to learn and grow. Ma'am, I mean it when I say this, Honorable Finance Minister, your very presence today has elevated this forum. It is said that great leaders don't just lead, they inspire. Through bold reforms, decisive actions, ma'am, you have not only redefined the nation's economic landscape, but also empowered every citizen, especially women, to dream bigger, to aim higher. And if I can share a personal moment with you, while I have the support and encouragement from my family, a game changer for me was seeing you take up so many roles with so much authority and grace, which we thought were reserved for men. And I also felt that acceptance of women across the country was there. You have completely shattered the glass ceiling. Like me, I'm sure there are millions of women, girls, you have inspired and continue to inspire to be courageous, confident and fearless. I'm actually reminded of an incident when I say that. A book publisher wanted to have a market survey with the people on how books impacted their life. So he met a very successful woman and he said, Madam, you are very successful. So if you have to attribute your success to one book, what would you recommend to the others also? Now without a minute's thought, she immediately said, yes, definitely, my husband's checkbook. But that on a lighter note, it is fair to say that you have played a key role in helping women realize their potential and becoming more independent. You have cemented yourself in the history of this country and in the hearts of the people. Honorable Finance Minister, as the chairperson of FLO Chennai, I can confidently say the entire fraternity of women entrepreneurs here fully support your initiatives and acknowledge the groundbreaking work you have put in for the benefit and development of the nation as a whole. We are very proud to say we are partners in nation building to achieve the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 and will continue to fulfill this role under your dynamic leadership. Your presence here today, despite your very busy schedule, shows your greatness and we are truly blessed to have you. Dream requires effortless sleep. Aim requires sleepless effort. Sleep for your dreams and wake up for your aim. After all, it is not the years in your life that count, but the life in your years that truly matter. With this motto, at FLO Chennai, we work tirelessly to bring out the best of programs and projects. And they say that God heals the patient, but doctor collects the fee. So likewise, I could be the chairperson, but for today's event to be possible, an entire village worked very hard. And I'd like to extend a special thanks to Shri Bhaskar, MD of Province, Shri K.T. Raghavan Sir, Senior Leader TN BJP, Shri H. Raja, Convener TN BJP. I'd also like to thank Day Chair Pooja Chabria, Secretariat Radhika Agarwal, Sandhya Rajan, entire Executive Committee, strong team of 30 volunteers, 100 working committee members, and to the 900 plus members of FLO Chennai. With these brief words, I welcome all of you and look forward to an evening of inspiration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Divya, for that inspiring and energizing welcome. Your words truly set the tone for the evening ahead. We now request Mrs. Prasanna Vasanadu, our past chair and founder of Tiki Toro, to introduce our chief guest for the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and members of FICCI Flo. Today we have the distinct honor of welcoming a visionary leader, a trailblazer in public service, and a powerful advocate for economic reform and development. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest and keynote speaker, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Minister of Corporate Affairs. Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman has been at the forefront of shaping India's economic landscape in recent years. As the first full-time female finance minister of India, she has broken barriers and set new benchmarks in leadership. With a background that spans both public policy and private enterprise, she brings a unique perspective to her role, a blend of rigorous academic training, international experience, and a deep understanding of India's socio-economic fabric. Her journey is a testament to perseverance and commitment. Born in Madurai and educated in Trichy, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman's early academic endeavors led her to the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, where she specialized in economics. Her career began in the private sector, but it was her calling to the public service that has truly defined her remarkable trajectory. From her role as a spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party to serving as the Minister of State for Finance and Corporate Affairs and later as the Defence Minister, she has navigated complex challenges with grace, clarity and resolve. As Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman has been instrumental in steering the Indian economy through turbulent times. Her decisive actions during the global pandemic, her focus on sustainable development, digital innovation, and fostering an inclusive economic environment reflect her forward-thinking approach. Under her stewardship, several bold reforms have been implemented to promote financial inclusion, support entrepreneurship, and ensure India's resilient growth trajectory. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman is a strong advocate for women's empowerment. She has consistently highlighted the need for greater representation of women in all spheres of life, including in business, governance, and community leadership. Her presence here today not only underscores her commitment to fostering dialogue and collaboration, but also her belief in transformative power of women-led initiatives. We are privileged to have her share her insights and perspectives with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Honorable Union Minister of Finance and Minister of Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji.
Divya Abhishek to felicitate our Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, with a traditional Toda shawl known for their distinctive black and red embroidery. Toda Threads, Women of the Nilgiris, is an initiative by FICCI Flo, Chennai. It is an initiative by FICCI Flo, Chennai, Handloom and Textile Vertical, which aims to promote and revive the extraordinary artistry of the Toda women from the Nilgiri Hills. We now request our Honorable Finance Minister to please address the gathering.
Good evening, and I'll start with an apology. The flight landed late. I tried rushing myself to get a bit fresh and then come down. In any case, you've been made to wait, so apologies for that. Divya's right. This is my first public address post taking charge as Finance Minister again in the third term of Prime Minister Modi. I also checked up with Divya to know if the audience is of Tamil and non-Tamil speakers or only Tamil speakers. She told me, no, it's mixed audience. But there can be temptations for me to get back to talking a few things in Tamil. Pardon me, I'll try to translate it. Come to Tamil Nadu and not utter a word in Tamil will not be done. So, actually, we are standing here, I mean, not just me, the government, after having been elected for the third term consecutively. I want to underline the fact that it is absolutely critical from the point of view of stability and continuity. Now, policies which are made with a lot of consultation, policies which come out of stakeholders giving their inputs are made after a lot of effort, and in that, having worked closely, I can say, the Prime Minister literally labors to know what the views on the ground are. So policies are never made in a hurry. Policies are never made with a confidence that we know it all. Never. Whether it is policies related to women, whether it is policies related to, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, or the poor. In fact, you would have noticed from before the election campaign, there was a context to it also. That today, if in India you're looking at wanting to reach a good stage of being developed as a country by 2047, it's all right for us to say, oh, that's a political, sloganeering, Viksit Bharat. No, don't all of us want to see this country better off? Don't all of us want to see this country much, much better than what we've seen during our childhoods? So it is an aspiration for all Indians to want to see India developed, by a certain milestone, and keeping 2047, that is 100 years after we obtained independence from imperial rule. It's not too ambitious to say by that time let us work to have an India which is built with our sweat and toil, and reach such a level that all of us can be proud that during our lifetime we built an India which the next generation will feel proud to be part of. And therefore, Viksit Bharat is not a political sloganeering, it is aspirational benchmark for all of us Indians, and in that, particularly women, we have a very big role to play. Now when I say this, it is not washing my hands off saying, government says all women will have to contribute to this. During this, Divya tells me 30 minutes, but I'll try to finish it earlier so that you can have an interaction as well. The topic that you've given yourself, women rising, has been completely enabled by Prime Minister Modi during his 10 years term, and that is why during the G20 conference, where you had participation of the top 20 countries, if there were 2 or 3 aspects on which India was praised, India was further asked questions about, can you tell us how this is working or how you achieved it? There are 3 big things on which G20 invoked interest in India. One was the way in which we scaled up digital public infrastructure. Public spending money, infrastructure for digitization of the country being completely invested by the government, but it wasn't kept as if only government can use it, it was left open for anyone to use it. So medical services, banking services, and education to start with benefited. Now it is spawning so many different activities that people in advanced countries themselves are not able to believe, because the impression about India is particularly women, particularly rural areas, they wouldn't be in a position to adapt to digitalization, and therefore you won't be successful. We disproved it well before COVID. But during COVID, using that kind of a digital technology to be able to tell which citizen got which vaccine, was he once vaccinated or twice vaccinated, was like a digital passport given to a person, so that his movement becomes a lot more methodical, not a scrap of paper which can be suspect sometimes. So your digitalization was one of the things on which there was a great deal of appreciation. The second thing was the way in which Indian economy was moving, and despite COVID, that is, the recovery was all across the board. MSMEs were doing very well. Economy, whether it is agriculture, which is labor intensive, and labor underemployed in agriculture, despite that agriculture was doing very well. So there was this great sense of, oh, something is happening in India. But the third one, which I'm purposely putting as third, was the topmost element on which there was a lot of curiosity, and that is women-led development. As different from women-centric development or women-prioritized development, it was women-led. And therefore, because of topic being women rising, I want to say 9 different aspects I put before you. I wouldn't go into too much of detail in the statistics that I have. I will certainly like to have Divya and her team take that paper, I can pass it on to you all, to know the various elements in which women have had prominence given, both through legislative support and fiscal support. And this is not exclusive to only urban women. It is rural women, urban women, educated women, half or partly educated women, skilled women, not skilled women. Everybody has had a role, and for which continuous methodical approach to give them that push has happened. It's not a fluke. It's not by stroke of luck. It is that effort which happened since 2014 in every aspect. So I clubbed my thoughts into 9 different silos. I'll put it before you because you are women who are going to have very strong influence in building India towards the 2047, where we, our neighbors, our children, our grandchildren, all of them can see a better India, and that is where you're going to be influencers, catalysts, and doers yourselves. So I look at 9 different aspects, and continuously we have this thing about demographic dividend. Everybody talks about it. Oh, India should maximize its demographic dividend. You have young people who are in productive age who can do so well. I want to say women's dividend that we have, in the sense half of our population gives us a gender dividend, which I think we need to emphasize and make it as a point in policy making. So not just the population dividend, not the demographic larger dividend, in that the gender dividend is something which I like to highlight. But 9 different ways in which how the government has targeted women and allowed them to rise. The first thing is about removing barriers for social development. Broadly, I'm not getting into every aspect of it. I'll flag it, you'll know where I'm trying to go. See, there are various barriers which affect women since the time the child is born. And Tamil Nadu at one point in time had high female infanticide and feticide. And there were all these schemes, you know, the cradle scheme, total, during Srimati Kumari Jayalalitha's time. She made sure that she laid in hospitals or some common centers cradles so that the female feticide can be stopped. So was the case with very many states, inclusive of Haryana, where the gender ratio was very, very adverse to women. So the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Karikram, which we started, save the girl and then educate the girl. It was not again a slogan. I'll give you a few points to highlight. So how do you bachao the girl? You need to have healthy, sanitation approved environment in which the child can grow. Not everywhere do you have taps in the houses. Nowadays we do it as a scheme. Not everywhere Swachhata is a big thing. PM took it up as a big abhiyan. But I'll just highlight how that has helped girl children, women to have better health. 12 crore tap connections were given under the Jal Jeevan mission. 12 crore. Then 12 crore household toilets were built. Women no longer had to go searching into the fields early morning or late in the evening after darkness sets under the Swachh Bharat mission. 10 crore or more free LPG gas cylinders to start with were given and then subsidized per cylinder under the Ujjwala scheme. So you're not sitting in a smoke-filled kitchen, you're better off. 75% of the houses under PM Awas Yojana are either singly or jointly owned by women. So you're slowly increasing their capacity to own assets and therefore have a voice in the family. Now, health and welfare, look at the work which has been achieved. Nearly 17 crore plus, totally it's about half of the Ayushman Bharat cards belong to women. Half of Ayushman Bharat card belongs to women means the woman can go and treat herself up to 5 lakh rupees a year for any ailment without having to pay cash, without having to prove her identity through paper. It is paperless, it's cashless. So 17 crore plus women are beneficiaries of Ayushman Bharat. You also know that these the medical stores which have been started, where branded medicines are not sold, generic medicines are sold. And these have become centers where you can get affordable medicines. Through such Jan Aushadhi Kendras, you are selling sanitary pad for 1 rupee a pad so that the poorest of poor women can afford hygienic living. 3 crore pregnant women get PM Matru Vandana Yojana's financial assistance before the delivery of the child and after the delivery of the child. Now, if this is generally indicative of women's health, Beti Bachao Karikram, I'm just moving to see how women can have a role in seeking justice, go to the court, fight a case. In that aspect, what have we done? Women in judiciary, just see the numbers. There are 2 women judges in the Supreme Court of India, and as of 25th July 2024, 106 women judges are working in various high courts. Madras High Court has 11 women judges out of 62 judges. So the presence of women in dispensing justice is also being encouraged. Now, what about women in police? Ministry of Home Affairs has written to all the states or issued an advisory in general to say increase the representation of women police and increase it to the level of 33% of all policemen that you have. So total strength is 100, you need at least 33 women police. And that is to have, in other words, not at the higher levels only IPS women are there, so no. You should have 3 women sub-inspectors and 10 women police constables in each police station. That is the advisory sent by the Home Ministry. 3 women sub-inspectors and 10 women police constables in each police station. Then, percentage of women in police force has risen. In 2013, it was only 5.87%, whereas now, when I say now, I'm giving you a slightly dated data, 2022, it rose to 11.75% women's presence in police. But what does that actually mean? It didn't impress me at all when I saw the other number, which is for per million population, you have 1,538 police personnel. But for per million population, we have only 170 women police personnel. Not adequate at all. So there's more work to do. But there are enablers which are now provided. Home Ministry is following it up, telling the states to increase recruitment of women and so on. So women police station, are there many? I know there was a time again in Tamil Nadu. We were, I think in Tamil Nadu, the first among many states to have women police station exclusively. Whether that was a successful experiment or not is a different story. But women police station. Women police station have increased from 518 in 2014 January to 745 in 2022. So there is an effort, there is a nudge, there is a push, there is this request to the states, because law and order comes under the state's subject. They need to recruit more women, they need to have more women. Now, I think in Tamil Nadu, I said 518 in 2014, 745 in 2022. Here in Tamil Nadu, you have 202 women police stations. So there are states which are pushing on this. Then there are 14,658 women help desks all over the country. So do we get a hang of justice for women? Yeah, they're all present, women's judges are present, women police is available on the ground. But fast tracking of justice for women, that very process is a very tiring process. It is a very, very cumbersome process, but even in that, under Prime Minister Modi, you see rapid changes happening. Fast track courts are very important, particularly because they are meant to deal with heinous crime. So really heinous attacks on women, violent crimes against women will have to go through the fast track court. So as of 31st May 2024, 866 fast track courts are functional, and they are trying serious crimes against women, children and also senior citizens. To fast track criminal cases involving women, central government approved a scheme for setting up such fast track courts in an expeditious manner, and in that POCSO cases also, serious crimes against children and women are also being taken up. There are 410 exclusive e-POSCO courts which are functional, and they are expected to deliver justice sooner. Till today, 253,000 cases have been disposed of. So they are serving a cause. They are serving a purpose. There are some states which are not speedily setting up fast-track courts, but they are a very good catalyst in providing justice for women. We need to encourage that. There are also one-stop centers. I'm not sure the numbers are before me, but I need to know how they function. 816 one-stop centers have been approved in 36 states. I think, but the big thing about this is you need to have a lot more awareness among women to go and approach these courts, seek justice through them. But that awareness is not as much as we would desire. So as a result, broadly, you have the gender ratio or the sex ratio at birth improved. Today, it is 930 per 1,000 male, still not at par, but it was 918 in 2014. Maternal mortality rate has reduced from 130 lakh live births, which was in 2014-15, to 97 lakh births in 2018-20. It has come down fairly significantly. And of course, the girls' education data which comes from school also is very healthy. The other important silo which I want to refer to you is about the financial independence of women. On that, through Jan Dhan Yojana, which Honorable Prime Minister launched in 2014, only a couple of days ago we celebrated the 10 years of a major scheme. Again, I'll go back to remembering G20. People were impressed that a scheme like this could make women and individuals who had no financial inclusion significantly till then have all been covered. Now 53 crore accounts have come under Jan Dhan Yojana. 53 crores. Now under Jan Dhan, I said 53 crore accounts in 10 years. In that, 55% are of women's accounts. So financial inclusion for women. And also single women's name accounts. Jandan and in general. 53% it was in 2015-16. By 21, it had reached 79%, where women are owning their own accounts and deciding on their financial whatever deposits that they have. So that's made a big difference again. One thing which very surprisingly, I didn't think there will be a time in India to talk about investments made by women. You would think, all right, money to spend with women, it's all right. Women to do some business, the parent or husband or somebody gives them the money. But today the investments are happening by women independently, and that data is important for us to remember and share. You have these Association of Mutual Fund India, AMFI. They've given data on the share of women in India's mutual funds under the asset under management has shot up from 15.2% in 2017 to 21% in 23. So the pace of growing particularly is happening through small towns. It's not Chennai women, it's more Tirupur women, it's more like some small town anywhere. I don't want to take a name of a small town and people say, no, we are not small town. Anyway, tier 3, tier 2. So in that is beyond the top 30 cities. Safer way to say, in India, the top 30 cities, if you push them aside, these women have come from further below 31, 32 and 50 and so on. So women from far-flung areas are now showing interest in putting their money, not just for saving, but for investment purposes. Axis Mutual Fund also did a study, July 24. What did they say? Increasing number of women are assuming control of their financial futures, as in their study, 72% of women investors are now making their own independent decisions about their own investments, which is a brilliant number. 72% of women making their own decisions. So the proportion of women investors using fintech channel, even better. They're not just putting their money for investment, they're going through the fintech routes. So technology savvy, investment savvy, money management savvy, and not the urban metropolitan women from everywhere. Amazing changes are happening in India. In that Axis study says, women investors using fintech channels has skyrocketed, that is Axis's own words, from 14% to 55% in just 5 years. Women are just rapidly moving in that area. Okay, now investment is all right. I'm moving to the next silo so that I don't take much of your time. Entrepreneurship. All of you are here, about you. Women-owned businesses in India make up around 17 to 20% of the country's total enterprises. So 1/5 of all the enterprises in this country are run by women. So that is accounting for about 15.7 million enterprises, all purely women run. Targeted support are being given. Now, entrepreneurship among women can be from small to medium to big. Government supports the small, for which I want to take the example of PM Mudra scheme. Look at the number of women. Targeted credit support women entrepreneurs account for 68% of Mudra, 78% of Stand Up, and 44% of PM Swanidhi. So these are, why am I listing only these? These are collateral free. Government gives the sovereign guarantee, you just go pick the money up and do your business. In that, 68% of all Mudra monies are going to women, 78% of Stand Up is going to women, and 44% of Swanidhi is going to women. 10% of all SIDBI's loans which is from the fund of funds, which is started for supporting startups. 10% of it is going to women. So, what does the government do at this stage, other than giving the loans? It also says public procurement, which is government's own procurement, will also have to do a certain portion only from women-produced organizations. So women entrepreneurs' produces will have to be compulsorily bought. 3% was reserved for it. Government makes rules, makes legislations, brings about a lot of changes, but to execute it, and I will speak for the government for a minute, execute is becoming difficult. We want to procure 3% from women. We've reached only 1.5 or 1.26%. Not that we don't want to, but we want more women to get on board. Come to the GEM portal, come to the various portals which the departments have opened. Showcase your product. We'll be able to procure more. 3% is reserved for you. But we don't have that quick response yet from women who can have their products also put up for public procurement, government to procure from you. All right. MSME ministry has policy to support clusters, business clusters. They are largely for small and medium industries. They are not just male dominated. There are 311 industrial training institutes purely for women, exclusively for women. And here standing and talking to you all in Chennai, there's one in Gindi, which is ITI only for women. There is one in Ambattur, ITI only for women. So 300 and plus all over the country, training women to be entrepreneurs. So the policy gives support, money, equipments, and trainers are brought in who can train them. So the government does do these sort of things just so we are able to support women who want to come out and be entrepreneurs themselves. Maternity benefit for women has also been increased under Prime Minister Modi's government. Earlier it was only, I think, 7 weeks or something. It has now been increased to 26 weeks. Maternity, paid maternity leave. All right. Two favorite things about which anybody from this government under Prime Minister Modi will never miss an opportunity to talk is Lakpati Didis, drone Didis. In every village now, there are women being trained to become Lakpati Didis, which means they will be women who will earn at least ₹1 lakh every year because of the training that we provide. And also after that we give them some assistance. What is it? They are now trained in plumbing, LED bulb making. LED bulbs are now being made in cottage industries and mostly women are making it. And they are also being taught to use drones, maintain drones and repair and lease it out. They can go themselves serve the drone or give it to somebody to go do the work and come back. So the Lakpati Didis sometimes are also drone Didis. The government trains them to use drone. I keep saying this. It might not be such a big thing for Tamil Nadu, but I think even for Tamil Nadu in a way, and for many states. It's one thing to talk about women, empowering women and so on. But in villages, where women largely are seen in agricultural activities, doing only the very laborious, painstaking, physically hurting work, like you will find, and I'm sorry for the men who are sitting here, stand up and spray the fertilizer will be happily done by the man. But bend and remove the weeds will be done by the women. Just swap the role and see. Will it work? It won't. In such an environment, Prime Minister Modi said, hey, Let all that be what it is. I'm not going to disrupt that. But I will allow these women to take these drones and spray the fertilizer, survey the land for the crop intensity, so that you'll know what is the density of the crop and what will be the probable outcome, survey the extent of land, and all this, sari-clad, probably flowers in her hair women, holding in the village a drone's control board, and the drone goes on the field. What would it do to our Indian mindset? Please just go back and think. In a village where otherwise she is along with another 50 women, bent completely like a U, picking the weeds. Today she says, well, we'll do that, but here, I have come here to spray the fertilizer. And what? Not the usual style, through the drone. That training is being given by our government. So women rising is not just getting women in the boards of big companies. It's not just getting women to become chartered accountants. It's also making sure your women, your cousins in the villages are also doing things very differently. So it does two things. It gives her some money to earn, but she becomes really confident, self-confident, and becomes a talking point of the village. Arey, Didi is going to come with a drone to spray the fertilizer, man. You want to know the extent of your land? Call her. And she does the repair of the drone. A drone which till now the young man in the village has not touched. So there is an attitudinal change which is being worked at. And that is where I would want to give credit to the Prime Minister. So he just doesn't give money in the hands of the women and saying, I'm empowering you. He is simultaneously empowering the mindset of the entire village, saying we can look up to our women for many other things. And that change is what I'm very proud about. It's one thing to have people put in good posts, Oh yeah, till now no government has given women positions in defense and finance. Prime Minister has given me. Brilliant, okay. Me, just as one individual. No. Every woman in the ground today is being empowered truly through these various skills that he's trying to provide, give them the resources for it, ask them to form FPOs so that they can change the economy with their decision making. So I can just throw the number at you. 15,000 women self-help groups have been chosen for training of these women, and also pick up some women from them to have continuous support being extended. And in this budget, comparing with 2014, when 97,000 crores were given, 97,000 plus crores were given for women, this time we provided 3.10 lakh crores for women-related schemes. Where is 97 in 10 years ago, and where is 3 lakh plus now? That is the emphasis Prime Minister has given for women. And in this particular budget, I have made announcement for working women's hostels to be provided, creche to be provided, and also promotion of market access to all those women who are doing localized businesses. The participation of women also is improving. The data which is coming out from the Labour Ministry, female labour force participation has also increased. It has now gone to 37% from the earlier 23%. So there is definitely. So the naysayers who talk about, oh, India, women are not getting an opportunity, they're not doing anything, should go through a comprehensive picture of what's happening in the last 10 years, rather than flippantly talk about nothing is happening. Startups. Sorry, have I crossed my time, Divya? Startups. The tendency, and I know when it was launched, I was in the Commerce and Industries Ministry. At that time, it looked as if women are not in startup world. Innovations is the critical word. So when startups are being formed, more men are coming forward with a lot of innovative thoughts which could be scaled up for commercialization. So women probably are not up to it. No. I'll give you the number today. There are more than 1.4 lakh recognized startups in this country. 47% have at least one women director in them. And you've heard this unicorns, 111 unicorns in this country, because the evaluation classifies them as unicorn, as different from any startup. 18% of these 111 unicorns are created or led by women. Unicorns, not just startups. Your valuation has multiplied so much it has touched 1 billion or more, and that is why you are called a unicorn. There are 18% of these 111 which are women-led. So I want that message that women are everywhere. In some places they may not be seen as much, but their numbers are growing. And it is people like us who have to give that extra support to make sure their stories are also publicly disclosed, spoken about, so that others can feel encouraged. Women in boardrooms. There are more things to be said about startups, but I'll leave it there. Women in boardrooms. There's a threefold increase. All India, there are 8.83 lakh women who are directors associated with active companies as of August 2024. Active companies, they are directors, and the number is 8.83 lakh. Whereas what it was in 2014 was only 2.58 lakh. So in 10 years, that's the kind of number we have grown, 3.4 times more. Tamil Nadu has a good share of the number. 68,000 women directors associated with active companies in August 2024 compared to 15,550 in 2014. 4.3 times rise, faster growing than the national average. Female directors represent 22% of the board in Nifty 50. Nifty 50 has female directors, so don't miss out. It was only 18% in 2019. Today it has gone up to 22%. STEM sciences, ISRO, women, I don't need to elaborate. They are also worthy of mentioning, but I'll leave it there so that I don't take too much time. But 81 years ago, in 1942, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the CSIR, was formed. I'm sure you know why I'm mentioning it here now. 81 years ago it was formed, and only now, since 2022, you have a lady who's heading it as the Director General. Dr. N. Kalai Selvi heads it. 81 years, they've never had a woman. This time, from 2022, you have a lady heading it. Lastly, you have specifically mentioned power politics. The women reservation bill has been passed. That's the first thing which was done in the new parliament. I was so happy. Any random bill is okay. But to signify that in this country we have kept that as a priority, I was extremely impressed that that was picked up as the bill to be passed in the new parliament. As it is, credit be given also for the Panchayat reservation which happened in 1974, as a result of which then 33% was reserved for women to be represented at the Panchayat level, elected members of the Panchayat, the Sarpanch and so on. Normally there is no party symbol, but women are elected. 33% reservation. But today, they are 46% of all those who are elected, meaning 33 is the reserved position. People have realized now that's a wonderful route. They are even contesting from unreserved seats and winning. As a result, 33% is by natural course gone up to 46. That's the principle. So once you give reservation, it is not to just handhold them forever. You open that door, women can find their own way, and today 33 is not stagnating, it's going closer to 50%, which is what is the population of women now. So with this, I would finally come to the last point, national security and defense related. Again, an area I'm very proud to say, when I was in Defense Ministry and Prime Minister Modi was very clear that I want women to get into defense forces as much as men. There is no way in which you can give excuses. See what you want to do. Since then, we started from the smallest level, which is entry into Sainik School, entry into the National Defense Academy, recruitment into the 3 services, not as a part-time or a short-term tenured role, full-time as much as men, and also be deployed at the front. Today, I'm happy to say, Indian Navy inclusive, which was the last of them to come in, they had their reason. I can sympathize with it. Entry of women in all branches, all cadres, all specialization is inclusive of naval activities except for submarine. Navy and all of the forces have now commenced recruitment of women in full force, all of them. Women Agniveers are also being recruited, and they're also being given a complete role as much as other Agniveers. Recruitment of officers in the Indian Air Force now is gender neutral. They don't see whether it's a man or woman, they just recruit if the person is fit and proper for their roles. And in the INA, that is Indian National Academy, women cadets are now eligible to join through 10+2 BTech courses. Immediately after 10+2, like the way you go into engineering, in the Indian Naval Academy, women can enter post 10+2. And in all the 33 Sainik schools, earlier it started with only some schools, now in all Sainik schools, girls can be recruited. So broadly, I've indicated what our government has done in the last 10 years to help more women to come into every angle, every aspect. Every push that is required for women is being given. But what I would think is, in a newer area in which some policy announcements have been made, I would invite FICCI Flo to play a big role, and that is in artificial intelligence, where there is requirement for training women. FICCI Flo should come forward, work with institutions to train young women to be initiated into AI. I'm not saying give them all the support to become a master of AI, initiate them into it. Today, the speed with which industry is moving towards utilizing AI, you'll have workforce which is required for it, and women cannot be missing it out only because they've not been trained in it. FICCI Flo should work with companies which are moving towards AI and institutions like the IIT, which are now becoming centers of excellence for AI, to bring in new young girls to get trained in AI. And in that, I would even go one stretch further. The Northeast and the young people there are learning to do things, and they perform so well. Why would it be difficult for FICCI Flo to pick and choose 10 people from your that side flow? I'm sure you have a chapter there. Pick up those girls, bring them here, keep them here, give them that exposure, and let them find their own path. After all, if India is to develop, every part of India will have to develop, and unless we all chip in our bit, it's not going to happen. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those insightful words that have undoubtedly inspired us all. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a huge round of applause once again that echoes beyond these walls. And now, it's time for a moderated session that promises to be as engaging as it is enlightening. I'd now like to introduce our moderator, Mrs. Sudha Shivakumar. Mrs. Sudha Shivakumar is a distinguished lawyer and investment banker with over 32 years of experience and is the immediate past president of the FICCI Ladies Organization, Flo, having previously served as its 40th national president. Her impressive career includes leading major organizations, managing international portfolios, and spearheading non-profit ventures. She is a gold medalist with a degree in English from the University of Madras, holds a Masters of Applied Finance, and has specialized in corporate and bankruptcy laws. As the national president of FICCI Flo, she focused on empowering women and driving social change through initiatives such as collaborations with Niti Aayog and Google and advocating for the care economy. I'd now like to invite Mrs. Sudha Shivakumar to the stage to begin this engaging discussion.
Wasn't that an awesome download of what ma'am has done to women over the 10 years? Every little word she said was part of the budget. And that is what has propelled the activity to move forward. But before I go on to the questions, I would like to tell our Honorable Finance Minister two things. One is, Flo has in Hyderabad, ma'am, started a Flo Industrial Park with 50 acres, and it has today from 250 crores moved to a turnover of 1,100 crores, employing 1,400 employees, out of which nearly 35-37% are women. And this industrial park in 50 acres has electronics, packaging, heavy industries, nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, auto parts. And the nicest part is women are not just the faces. Unless they were part of the game, they wouldn't get the land allotted. This is in Hyderabad, ma'am. Where in Hyderabad? I just know the location and I'll tell you. We are starting this in a few other places. And on the Center of Excellence, last year I was the president of FICCI Flo. We started 10 centers of excellence all over the country. We're going to be starting one here in association with IIT or depending on the sponsor to promote digital education and make technology, demystify technology, make it available across the spectrum. So with that, can I get to you on the questions? Women, like our Honorable Minister said, is all poised to grow. Don't you think she has a sea of opportunities to move from margins to mainstream? The government, like Honorable Minister spoke, has enabled a lot of schemes to support her on that path, has enabled many legislations, and has also supported with the required reservation. There are numerous opportunities for the woman to educate and empower herself. And her participation and leadership in both political and public life are essential to achieve Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. But women are underrepresented at all levels despite so many schemes and pushes. Less than 1/5 in leadership position. Women are 28.5% of the workforce at the entry level, sharply dropping down to 18.5% at the managerial level. A very, very leaky pipeline there. SEBI is fining a lot of companies for not having the required women directors on the board. And all this is set against the happenings in Kerala and Kolkata, leaving the nation scarred. Now I go to the topic to ask you, ma'am, despite so many opportunities, despite so much of support, where and what are the unseen barriers which all of us should work towards and make this movement a faster game? My second one is, this would help FICCI Bharat 2047. We at FLO, what do you think, ma'am, that we could work towards with you to achieving this?
I'm not sure there is a straight answer, but I'll try to sort of do some guess, and sometimes it can be a bit blunt. See, not just because I've recited the different types of measures which the central government has taken, many states are taking their own measures. But eventually, 500 of you all are here, many are not here. Similarly, I think it is women who will have to come out to do things. And in that, I don't fault women, because we are still in that cusp where balancing the family and also contributing on your own with the skills and the knowledge and the learning that you have acquired, that you can do, is still a matter of every individual balancing for themselves. So, adula na blunta veeda uttrunga velaiku vaanga na solla maten. We'll have to do the balancing. It is important that, women's contribution in labor force in India will have to be looked at with Indian perspective. Whereas in the West, everybody leaves the house and goes and contributes, each one for a productive contribution. And they eventually also have a support mechanism. When there are elders in the house, there is a hospice or a place where they can be left and work can be done unendingly by male and female. But India's system is very different. We don't measure, and I'm not saying we should, we don't measure the contribution of women in a household. I'm not driving the debate of, oh, then monetize that. No, I'm not even getting into that. That's another big area in which I think each one of us will have to make up our minds. So, where you're able to balance, where you have the support systems, where you know how to get out of it, it is important to come out and do. And that's where the decision is singular on you. Nobody is going to help you make the decision. The government steps can give you the confidence, all right, there's some mechanism. If there is something wrongdoing happening to me, I can seek justice. There is representation. My products will be bought. My children can go to Sainik schools. If I want to send somebody abroad, there is way in which subsidized loans are being given. Things like that. But it is for us to make up our mind.
Absolutely, ma'am. So that leads me to ask you the next question, which would then mean that dynamic and the evolving landscape of women leaders and entrepreneurs, I'm talking of both of them, leveraging of emotional intelligence moves crucial. Now that seems to be a driver at home if you really want to move forward. That seems to be a driver at corporate houses, and possibly, I have no visibility into politics, so emotional intelligence possibly plays a role at every aspect. So gone are the days where you're academically brilliant, your IQ is great, gone are the days where, to handle people, your social intelligence is good. EQ seems to play a very big role. And not just, if you say 25% of each, the last 25% seems to rest on marketing these 25%. If a woman really needs to, no, I like you, I don't believe in crashing any ceiling. The ceiling is within your mind and it's trapped in you. So if a woman has to rise, if a woman has to break these unseen barriers, how do you think she has to emotionally, socially move forward, ma'am, in your experience?
There's nothing different for us as different from men. Even men have their emotions. Only I think because they've been in public open spaces for too long, They know what chalta hai is, what gets done, what is acceptable, kya chalta hai. Whereas women, I think, have not seen their role yet completely about where your EQ will have to be drawn as a fine line and where you have to come out to be a part of a larger team. So it is more exposure which will give you that strength, and it will happen.
Just one little one. See, this works with educated lot. Still, if you go to...
Oh, no. No, those who are in rural areas and women who are less educated or less exposed have a lot more confidence than you and I. We can learn a lot from them. Imagine what they did in adapting to the QR codes. Imagine what they did sitting in the hedges of the farms and selling the farm produce. Imagine what they are doing today. And I find, may not be the best example to give. Look at the aspirational youngsters who are all coming on YouTubes nowadays. I'm not taking TikTok as an example. That's terrible. But look at the women. You and me are not doing it. They are all coming up with fancy ideas of, oh, look, this is a product, a content. I didn't know content creators are all from Bareilly, Tumkur, Putanampatti. Amazing, man. So,
yes,
they're far ahead of us.
No, ma'am, I was just trying to ask, we need to reach all these schemes to them, and the role I think Flo can make in that space is phenomenal. Now, to Divya, what would you
That was very insightful, ma'am. I think as someone who holds such a prominent position in public life, there's constant media scrutiny. But I'd like to ask a question that is a little bit more on a personal note. How do you deal with self-doubt? Do you ever have self-doubt or criticism? How do you deal with it? What would be your word of advice to the people here?
Oh, criticism is every day, every minute. And you were very gentle to say media. You should also add a social to it. What's happening in the social media? Yeah, you have it every morning, every afternoon, every evening. Now it's, everybody is there, out there to tell you what you should do.
So, being a very prominent person and a very powerful person, ma'am, what is a day in the life of Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman? How do you start and end your day? Take us through your day in this avatar.
Start with newspapers, end with social media.
Ma'am, we usually have a round which we call rapid fire with our special invitees, and we thought maybe we could pick your brains also with this today if you are okay with it. Can we go ahead with our rapid fire? Sudha, please.
Ma'am, we all know from YouTube what you stand for as the finance minister for so many years. What we would really love to know is the personal Madam Nirmala Sitharaman. So that's the basis of my question. You can push me back anytime if I'm crossing lines. I promise I won't. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
This morning, for instance.
What did you do, something different?
No, you asked me when was it? I said, don't ask me what. This morning, actually.
We'll take it there. And what are the 3 things that no one knows about you?
How do I know that?
500 people in this audience.
How do I know that you don't know? This is like Vedanta.
We can give it a try, ma'am. We may not know.
Very difficult, yeah? I need a guru for this. Very difficult.
I should prompt. Your personal interests, we may not know.
No, I think it's all out in the public.
All
Music, books, cooking, traveling in the mountains. You don't know it.
Any special trekking, lovely things that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, I've had very good experiences from my student days. In fact, very recently I was telling somebody when I was in JNU, I had gone for 3 full weeks to Ladakh.
Wow.
And trekked, oh my God, it was one of the best times that I've had. Similarly, I've had a wild trek into the, uncharted hills in Uttarakhand. And those days, Valley of Flowers, Govind Ghat, used to be with nobody. So happily we went up to Hemkund Sahib. And like that, yes, a lot of treks in the Himalayas. I think once again, 3 weeks in Andaman was brilliant time, all when I was a student. So I've traveled a lot like this. And those are things which I love to do again.
With all these camera glares, I'm sure you must be missing those times.
I love to go away for a few days and be left to myself.
Thank you. Oh, just one more before I give it to Divya. Any favorite childhood memory? Very favorite, very special, very close to you?
Quite a few. I keep remembering them. But there's one which was very, to me, very touching. I had broken my left arm. And that was when I was living in the railway quarters in Virupuram. And those days, that railway quarters used to be facing the line which was going from Virupuram to Pondicherry. It was a huge ground where I used to, I learnt riding a cycle only there. And I'd fallen off the cycle, my left hand had broken off. And my grandfather, my father's father, who used to live in Tiruchi, came all the way. He never moved out after his retirement, but stayed with me. And every day he would recite something or read a book. And one thing which I remember is my left hand was in bandage, but with him I sat down because from the field he got groundnuts with the shell on them. So he would sit next to me and say some things, but he would use his right hand and break the nuts and put it into a container. So I would do the same, but he would say, no, don't do it, your right hand also will get broken. You better mind yourself and listen to me. But I distinctly recall that every now and then because your grandparents can never be replaced. They are each one such great people. That is one thing which comes to my memory very often.
Some relationships are very, very special, especially with grandparents. Divya?
Your mic.
What is tougher, man? Working and delivering a budget or addressing the post-budget media?
Sitting in front of FICCI Flo and answering this.
What do you really miss most about everyday life and living?
I used to love to do my own business, go to the market, buy my own vegetables or books, bookshop, or just walk around or visit a friend. Not possible now. I tried doing it once in Chennai and it became a bit of a, what becomes a nuisance is they suspect when a politician does all this, it's drama. Or they suspect that I would have done something exploitative. I would have bought the vegetable and not paid for it. No, but honestly, the very next day I saw in a newspaper that particular newspaper's journalist went in search of that dukan and asked that woman, did she pay you? How much did she pay? How did she pay? And did she pay the full amount or did she pay? And he promptly reported it, I must say, honestly. But these are things which I can't imagine. I mean, obviously, I won't buy a vegetable without paying the person. But world has become like that. So today they want to make a story of that because it's quite, spicy to write, oh, the finance minister came, bought vegetables, but didn't pay. What a news,
Andhra, Tamil Nadu or Delhi?
Oh, each for itself. Andhra has great things for me. Tamil Nadu, of course, very strong memories. Delhi's been my karma bhumi. So,
Great.
Lovely. Ma'am, we're so comfortable sitting and talking with you. You're so warm, so affable. We've also seen you on the floors of the Parliament with your voice so logical, so clear, and so sure. Between this spectrum, would you like to define your leadership style?
it's a bit difficult because even to me, it'll sound a bit, favoring myself like, or flattering myself like, but I would aspire to be, and I try to be, I make efforts to be. You have to be blunt, you have to be, frank, but you have to have decency. You can't speak nonsense. Speak with facts, speak well, speak with affirming details, but never be indecent. I'll strive for that. You may want to hit at an opponent when you're discussing the matter, but after that you don't need to carry the enmity. You can always say, hi, what's happening, when you meet them in the corridor. You don't need to carry the bitterness through. That's a second. And third, I wish parliamentary debates are lots more with contents. Sometimes it's quick fire and call names and go away. I know the speaker and the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, speaker in Lok Sabha. Try pushing towards having a lot more pithy debates. I want those to come back. Because whenever I enter the house, in the new parliament as well, I constantly, at least in the old one, it used to make me feel, oh my God, such people have been in this house. Will I even be worthy of, the time that I spend here? Because absolutely great people have been in that house last 70 years. But today, sometimes it makes me feel, what has it happened? What has it come down to be? I want them to be a lot more, make people feel that the time spent there is worthy. Everyone talks substance, matters which are worthy for people to hear. I love to have that happening.
This is such a breath of fresh air. Thanks so much, ma'am. What do you think is the most rewarding part of your job?
I think as an individual you become better.
Beautiful.
Because the kind of roasting you have, the kind of thrashing you get, and also the kind of, sometimes you can answer, sometimes you can rebut, but you can't. Because I used to quote this once earlier, once or twice. I was in London, and around that time, I'm quoting an example from Pakistan, but it applies to anybody. Benazir Bhutto used to be the head of Oxford University Union, and what kind of speeches she used to give. Issues of the global south, issues of students, issues of the world, and everything else. But the moment she came back to Pakistan and got elected, she would fumble for words. She wouldn't answer, or she would, go around in circles. And I was watching this and I used to think, hey, what has happened over here? She used to speak so powerfully. She used to sort of, to the point, hit at people. Why is she not able to answer? But I can tell you, I'm not comparing myself with anybody. When you're in the opposition, you can have all the firepower. You can accuse, you can allege, you can sometimes even do things without fundamental data in your hand. But even with fundamental data and reason and logic in your hand, when you're in the government, you just cannot speak sometimes. And that makes you feel, inside I used to feel very angry. saying, why the hell can I not say? Why can't I come and explain? But today I realize that silence sometimes has great strength. And as an individual, therefore, I feel it's changed me a lot.
Beautiful. Ladies and a few gentlemen here, it takes me to the last question of today. We know her as the woman with numbers like this, statistics like this, a very thorough, strong exterior, a woman who can handle any situation, anything. But beyond all this, can I ask what makes you you?
Very difficult question. Was she a journalist before? This kind of question only can come from journalists. What makes me
I'm an
me?
investment banker, ma'am, and a lawyer.
I really don't know. My upbringing maybe, which gives this rigidity in certain things, not to compromise on integrity, not to be, or to be above board always, not to be blamed for things which you should have thoughtfully done and avoided. These are very much part of my upbringing, so I can't change. There are a lot of people have commented saying, you look like a headmistress, you talk like a headmistress. I'm sorry, yes, probably.
Far from it this evening. I'm sure all of you will vouch. Yeah.
Yeah, headmistress?
Not at all. I said far from it.
Oh, okay. So, these are observations which I've heard from people, that you're too tough, you're too rigid, you're too, stern. Maybe I think as a woman in politics, as a woman living alone in Delhi, far away from my, maike or sasural, பிறந்த வீடு புகுந்த வீடெல்லாம் விட்டுட்டு எங்கேயோ போய் டெல்லியில் இருக்கும்போது நம்ம தற்காப்புக்கு சிலதெல்லாம் பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்கு. So very different from what I would love to be, but that's it, that's me.
On that note, maybe stand up.
Thank you very much, ma'am,
for
a standing ovation for our own
fabulous woman who's spent 1 hour with us, opening herself up. We owe every bit to her. There's so much to learn from her. There is so much to match the footsteps she has left. And 3 cheers to this evening. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
That was indeed an insightful session. To show our appreciation, we now like to present a memento to our esteemed speaker and the moderator. May I request Chairperson to do the honors. Respected Madam, may we request you to kindly present the memento to our moderator, Mrs. Sudha Shivkumar. I now invite our Senior Vice Chairperson, Niyati Mehta, Jewelry Designer and Partner at Mehta Jewellers, to deliver the vote of thanks, following which we will have the national anthem. Please stay back for the national anthem.
Good evening, everybody. Math, science and social awareness are tools that sharpens an individual's intellect, fortifies your decision and empowers you to navigate the world with precision and confidence. Respected Madam Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, in every word of your speech there is a foundation of precision, confidence and leadership. Your humility and your exceptional, unwavering vision dedicated to the growth of the nation are truly commendable. It was heartening to hear the statistics of the various schemes that women have been offered by the central government. Ma'am, you have by example led the way. As the Vice Chairperson of FLO, I thank you for this true inspiration to the women of India. Past President of FICCI Ladies Organization, Sudha Shivkumar and Divya Abhishek, our very own mathematicians, thank you for an excellent moderatorship. FICCI Ladies Organization Chennai chapter has a very strong legacy thanks to our past chairs who have not been an inspiration but constant guides. We thank you all for being there. I would like to thank our EC along with our day chair Pooja Chhabaria and the team of 30 volunteers for seamless execution of today's event. And of course our social media team, you are our rock stars as always. Thanks to Geeta Muthuswamy for preparing the press release. The success of every event is dependent on our sponsors whose wholehearted contribution helps our events. Our platinum sponsors, Satyabama Institute for Science and Technology, DRA Homes, gold sponsors, Access Healthcare, Analog Skin and Aesthetics, silver sponsors, Helvetica, bronze sponsors, Go Colors, Nirmala TMT Steel, Ashini Fine Jewelry, RBAC, 361 Wealth, Tagros Chemicals, KSS Smart Solutions, Tata Mutual Fund, Avira Diamonds, gifting partners Sadev and Shradarullah Gourmet, event partners White Box and Wishing Well Events, design partner Devika Agarwal. Much appreciate your support, all of you. Thank you Leela Hotels for seamless organizing. Last but not the least, thank you audience for being here in great numbers. Hope to see you all soon again.
Please stay back for the national anthem. Senior VC Niyati Mehta, EC Sandhya, Ruchita and Kirtana and Day Chair Pooja Chhabaria, please come on stage for the photograph, following which the volunteers will go up. Okay. We will be having the national anthem now. Can we have the national anthem please? The AV team, national anthem please. अधिनायक जय
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय जय